Still ahead, advocating for access to the waterfront. One man's efforts to get the ball rolling on change. Coming up on CTV News, protecting the public from RSV. We'll tell you who now qualifies for the vaccine for the virus a little later in the show.
It's a popular place for many in the summer, but those living with disabilities say accessing Lake Ontario is no easy feat, especially since the closure of Ontario Place.
Today, one man took his water-based rehab regimen to a downtown fountain, hoping it might attract some attention to the plight of those who can't easily access the lake. CTV's Scott Lightfoot has the story.
It was an unusual sight outside the courthouse on University Ave this afternoon.
I have to use these fountains. It's my only choice. It's kind of silly when you think about it.
Call it equal parts physiotherapy and protest. SteveMann is a professor at the University of Toronto. He's also recovering from a back injury, and as part of his recovery, he was told to try waterballing. His first thought was the lake.
But there's nowhere I can get my ball in because they've closed Ontario Place. There's 4 wheelchair ramps at beaches, but those ramps don't go all the way into the water.
Mann says public pools won't allow access with inflatables, and without the options that previously existed at Ontario Place, lake access is next to impossible.
Toronto's the biggest city on the Great Lakes, so we should be a role model of stewardship for freshwater access. But there is nowhere in the city of Toronto where someone with disabilities can launch a kayak or an exercise ball into the water.
And so he's come here to this fountain to work on his rehabilitation.
It's really good for the spine if anybody has back injuries. A lot of times I get up in the morning, I can't stand up, I need my walker. But then if I can get the right spinal stability exercises.
Mann, who ran for mayor in the last election on a platform that included improving access to the lake and keeping Ontario Place public, hopes that by taking his rehab routine to public spaces, it might encourage the public and elected officials to think about ensuring access to the water for all.
There are a lot of people with disabilities who can't any longer get into the water. And it's a real crime because Lake Ontario should be accessible to people in Toronto, and yet it isn't.
Until then, you may see him waterballing wherever he can around the city. Scott Lightfoot, CTV News.